Hey guys, someone here from WynnStrength. On today's video, I wanted to do a quick rundown over some strategies to help you with your Atlas stone lifting. Now, if you're at the home gym like myself, you don't really have a lot of Atlas stones to pick up, so you can't incrementally load the weight like you would with, say, a barbell or a dumbbell. I really only have 185 pound stone and then 135 pound stone. So it's pretty big difference there. We've got a 50 pound difference between jumps, and I can't go heavier and I can't go lighter. Now, without training Atlas stones, if you don't even have access to Atlas stones to begin with, you're probably going to have to just train a bunch of deadlifts. If you have access to an SS yoke barbell, you can kind of hug the handles on the SSB, or you can hug some weight plates and kind of try and make that work. But at the end of the day, it's going to be not as well as if you were able to actually grab some Atlas stones to play around with. Now, given that I only have 2 increments to kind of play with, in order to work up to the heavy one, we're going to have to play around with volume and loading in order to build up some hypertrophy, and then kind of look at how we can slowly introduce the heavier stone. So the strategy is you want to do a bunch of volume with that lighter stone. That way you kind of get more hypertrophy focus, and you still work on that technique, because again, we're talking about 185 pound stone here. A lot of the times you can deadlift a lot more weight, so strength itself isn't going to be the biggest issue here. It's going to be technique and how to display your physical strength on an odd implement. So even though, yes, it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more difficult of a technique, especially if you haven't done it for a lot of times, or if you're brand new to lifting stones. It's going to be a much higher learning curve, or a much steeper learning curve. So with that in mind, you want to get a lot of reps in with that lighter stone as much as you can, and then when you get to that heavy stone, you don't necessarily need to pick it all the way up to the shoulder or over the shoulder or over a bar to begin with. Just pick it up off of the ground to begin with, and then gradually raise the height as you go. Even if you want to, say, do a stone over bar, have a really low bar height, and then as you get better and get more reps under that, you're going to raise that bar height each and every month or week, however the case may be with you progressing. And then you can even start doing some back off volume at the end of that, so that you do one heavy lift, kind of like a powerlifting single. We hit up that powerlifting single, and then we follow that with a bunch of volume at a much lighter weight. It's a kind of a workaround with limited equipment, especially with something as complex as a stone lift. You really need to just get those reps under the stone, as it were, so that your body gets used to moving in that movement pattern, because most of the time, raw strength isn't going to be the limiting factor here, especially when you're talking about a stone that you're technically deadlifting in a way, much lighter weight than you would if you had a regular barbell. Hopefully that helps with your stone training. Yeah, this has been Sam from WynnStrength, and remember, a better life through strength.